treasure hunters or coffee with Catherine people. Coffee, Catherine, and this is Isaac. Isaac Gonzalez. Hello. He's a web developer, web developer in San Diego. He's also my boyfriend. Yay! But I want to talk to him a bit today about. Okay, so here's the problem, Isaac. A lot of people are selling on Amazon, selling on eBay. A lot of people like me. And some of us have the fear. With eBay, a lot of people are concerned about defect rates. They're finding eBay more and more a challenge to sell on. And also people have similar concerns about Amazon. Now, both are super successful platforms, really good for selling on. But we hear a lot of things about how you should diversify your platforms and diversify your streams of income. And I feel, and I've been saying this on my Spreecast for a while, that really you start off, you sell other people's products on other people's platforms. Mm-hmm. And you progress from there to selling either other people's products on your own platform or your own products on other people's platforms. But the ideal is to be selling your own products, on your own platform. Sure. So what I wanted to ask you about was really the options. Like if you've been selling on eBay, you've been selling on Amazon or Etsy or other platforms, what are the best ways of getting control over your platform?
Okay, sure. Is cost an issue? Are we looking at what's the most affordable? Because it can, obviously it varies depending on how much money you want to invest into it.
Right, and I know, like, you're coming from a background of kind of big clients and corporate websites where there's, like, a big budget. And what I would be saying is a lot of people who are selling eBay and Amazon are in the growth stages, so mm-hmm. they have been selling small but want to be expanding their business. So right now, we're looking at probably small budgets. So I guess we're looking at what platforms to use and also marketing. If you can't just say, I want a huge website, I'm going to pay a big agency and I'm going to throw a lot of SEO money at it.
Right.
What are the options?
I'm not an SEO expert. I do work with a lot of SEO experts, so I am familiar with some of the terminology. As far as platform goes, there are existing online services, platform tools, whatever you want to call them, where you can set up your own shop. Shopify is one of them. It's an all-in-one. They handle hosting. They handle also payment processing, and I believe they also handle your design. So they have everything set in place.
Okay, so Shopify.
Yes.
What is that? If I wanted to set up a Shopify store like today, do I need to code? What do I need to do?
From my understanding, you don't need a code. You just set up an online shop, and they have a template. They have tools in place that you sign up, and you can create your shop instantly. And from my understanding, they have preset templates that you can use. I've seen a couple of their portfolio sites, and they look decent. The nice thing about online stores and actually websites in general, simplicity is gold. You don't need a crazy design. You don't need all this parallax, these crazy images to pop up in front of you. It helps. They look pretty, and they do set a presence. But people are okay with some simple sites. They load quickly. They're very responsive, and they get the job done.
So, okay, so we're saying, like, we want a really simple site just to get started with.
Yes.
And I think that will appeal to people because I think, especially you're coming from eBay, you're coming from Amazon, you want to start very simple. You want to keep it small. You don't have, like, 500 SKUs you want to put up there. You just want to keep it small. And I think that's like somewhere that I would say with probably, if you're a small seller, find your niche and sell, decide what you want to sell. Sell your like baseball hats or sell your stamps, your vintage stamps or your coins but I think that's like a really good point. Just keep it super simple to start, both from a technical viewpoint and from like what you're actually selling is probably like really good advice.
Another option would be Square.
Okay, what's Square? I don't know Square.
It's a service you can go to. I believe it's Squarespace actually, and you can basically create your own website. It's a drag and drop. You got like these little widgets, and you just drag and drop components, and you can build your own website. And they do have a small feature for shops. So if you're selling 1 or 2 products, maybe 10 products, I believe that's also another option.
And so I think a lot of them, they work that you pay a fee per sale, or do you pay like a monthly
Yes.
fee?
Now, both services, they work with payment gateways. I believe Squarespace or one of them only uses Stripe, which is like PayPal's competitor.
Ooh, this is gonna be a hard sell. I mean, like, okay, all the eBay people, I don't know. We have like this abusive relationship with PayPal. Like, we love it, we hate it.
I hear it all the time, and the biggest issue I hear with PayPal are fees, and that their fees are high. I personally like PayPal because the brand itself. It's easy for me to pay with PayPal. It's easy to click a PayPal button than it is to insert my credit card, which I have to pull out of my wallet, take it out, fill out the numbers. Oh, shit, I put the wrong number in. Oh,
you just said a rude word. Sorry, people.
I was reliving yesterday when I had to fill out a credit card to pay for something. It's annoying. Honestly, PayPal's awesome. You click a button, type in your password, and you're done.
Yeah.
And half the time it autofills for me, which is great. So anyways, PayPal, convenience, and also you have the branding. People feel secure and comfortable paying with PayPal. Negative drawback is their fees. You know, their fees can be high, and you know, you want to.
And I think another thing that a lot of sellers have a problem with is that I think customers can cancel through PayPal. If they buy something and they're not 100% happy with it, you can find yourself losing your item because people cancel through PayPal, which I think has been like an issue for sellers. So it's one of those things where it gives the buyers security, but at the same time it causes issues for sellers. It favors buyers over sellers, which is a good thing because it brings trust and it brings security, but at the same time, returns.
A third option, which will kind of link back into PayPal and other payment gateways, would be setting up a WordPress site.
Okay.
And you can probably do it. You can do it for relatively cheap
these
days.
This is an interesting one. So WordPress, I know a lot of people pay a lot of money for WordPress sites. Like that's like big business at the moment, and I know you set up a lot of WordPress sites for people. And I think, I mean, people who really don't know a lot about it, we kind of think of it as a blogging system or a blog site. But people build like stores.
Yeah, they're
WordPress.
Building complete websites, content management systems, stores with it. They have, with the way WordPress works, when you first install it, by default, it's just a simple blog system. And they have a plugin system where you can go and find plugins that extend the functionality of WordPress. So one of the plugins you can get is a store. WooCommerce is a very popular one. There's a few others.
What's it called?
WooCommerce.
WooCommerce.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
You know, I believe the plugin's free. Some of it you have to pay for, but it's definitely low cost compared to having to pay for a customized system.
Okay.
It's very modular. Things are in place. It can set up with multiple payment gateways. So, you know, if you're starting out, the easiest thing is connect with PayPal. It's super simple, and you can start selling products. You get your money instantly in PayPal. The next step up would be...
So is this something I could do if I want to set up a WordPress site?
Absolutely.
I want to open Catherine's Big Mug store. Can I set up a WordPress site? How difficult is that?
Sure. Well, you would need to find a hosting platform to put it. WordPress.com, actually, they host it themselves, but you probably want to get your own hosting service.
So like GoDaddy? Or?
GoDaddy, you can go to GoDaddy, and they actually, most web hosting companies these days have tools that'll help you set up WordPress sites, so it cuts down the development costs tremendously. You can hire someone like me to go and install WordPress sites.
Hire him, he's good.
I'm booked right now.
He's booked, okay.
Yes. I took a small break out of the cage to talk to you.
Oh, okay. I let him out, guys.
Yes, she gave me a banana.
I made him coffee.
Yes, that's awesome. So you set up a hosting. You pay. You find a web hosting service. GoDaddy. You know, there's HostGator. There's a plethora of hosting companies out there. You find one and you pay for it. A lot of them have tools that you can install directly on your own without having to pay a developer. If you want something more advanced, you run into issues. You will eventually have to pay a developer. That's where I come in. I'm like the wolf. I have to go and fix things where people, they try to do it themselves.
He's the fixer.
It breaks and they have to call me up to fix it. So, but anyways, you can get very far without any help. And with WordPress, you have what's called themes. And they're preset templates that there's an infinite number of them, and if done correctly, I mean, they don't care if it's a pre-built template or not. They look at the site, it looks decent, it's functional.
I think you want something clean and simple and trustworthy. You don't want it with blinking text.
Right,
and
right. And at
stuff.
that point, it's just a matter of your own taste and what's going to find a look that matches your brand. So there's a website people go to. I probably shouldn't say this because, like, you know, a lot of people I work for go to these sites. Themeforest.com is a popular site.
Are you putting yourself out of a job here? Are you telling people how to do your job?
I know, I might be.
You're always telling me off for that. You always don't give away all your secrets.
You know,
this
honestly,
is the web guy's secrets.
The information's free. It's out there. A little bit of research. I'm probably saving you 1 or 2 Google clicks away. By
so you're saying if you want to set up your own website and you don't want to use like a like Shopify or Squarespace, then the thing to do is to download WordPress or get it installed on your own domain. So go and get your own domain, your own hosting service from somewhere like GoDaddy or WordPress.com, and then you can put the WordPress site there.
And then from there, you can install a custom theme. You can go to a site like ThemeForest where they have hundreds and hundreds of existing themes, and from there, you install it onto your WordPress site. It changes the look and feel of it instantly. My only advice is choose a very simple theme. The problem is people are ambitious and they do something really complicated and stuff breaks and it creates a problem. And it's very difficult to manage as far as the admin interface goes when you get too complicated. So set up your own theme. The next thing you want to do is there's a plugin called WooCommerce. There's a few others, but I'm going to throw in there because I guess that's the most recent.
And so that handles all the payments for you.
Yes, it will handle payment. It will set up basically your own shop. So you can create your own products. You have an actual product page, a listing of all your products. People can add to their cart, and then they have a checkout sections where people can check out. Now, it gets a little complicated with the checkout process because another thing you need that gets a little complicated is what's called an SSL certificate. Because
this is where it sounds scary.
It sounds scary. It's actually not scary, and Google is actually recommending that most sites have this now, if not all sites. And what SSL is, it's a way to secure a site. It offers security to a site. When you go to a website, you see in the top corner of your browser, you see like a little lock. And if it's green and the lock is closed, you know it's a secure site.
Okay, yeah.
And that means that whatever you do on there, you don't have to worry about your information getting leaked. And why do you want a secure site? Because eventually people are going to be entering credit card information on your site. And
see, I think this is what a lot of people are worried about. They know like using a credit card is like a big deal, and you don't want to like do anything wrong with anyone's credit card information. So you want it all to go through a third party and to
yes. And so people can insert the credit card information or PayPal information directly on your site. There is another option where you send people to like PayPal, and this is where PayPal shines, is that they get. So their shopping cart actually gets sent to PayPal, and you get sent to PayPal.com to complete the order transaction. Okay. So at that point, you don't really need an SSL.
See, I think a lot of that would appeal to me. I would rather just put a PayPal button on my site. And so one thing I've been thinking about setting up is a Facebook store. And I've heard about Sells, and I think there's another Facebook app that I can't remember the name of, but I know that Sells looks really interesting. That's SELZ. And what's cool about Facebook? So I'm like a complete Facebook-aholic, as he knows. And I have like I have my Facebook group and a lot of people.
Hold on, I have a message. Someone's asking me an Amazon question.
It's good. I answer a lot of Amazon questions. It's nice. But I think a lot of people have. First of all, they've already got their friends, their family on Facebook. They've got a lot of people who share their interests. And I know if people are in like a special interest group, or if they have a store. Like a lot of people might have a small bricks and mortar store, or they might have they might have their own business doing, like, whether it's Mary Kay or whether it's eBay or whatever it is. They have a Facebook presence. And as they already have a lot of followers on there, it seems like Facebook would be a really cool platform to sell to people. And And this is something I would really like to do.
I think some of the pros, Facebook right now is prime online real estate. It's coveted space. People are on it all the time. They're looking, and you know, if you want to be seen, Facebook's the way to go. So from the sales, you can purchase directly on Facebook, which is awesome. You don't have to go to another site. And
so it sets up like another tab on your Facebook page, which is pretty awesome. So if you have a page already existing for your bricks and mortar store or for your club or for your interest, you can set up another tab that has store with like what you want to sell on.
Yes, and again, you purchase directly in there. The service, some may argue it's a little pricey. They take 5% of the total sale, which
I think that's pretty reasonable compared to like eBay and Amazon. I mean, Amazon take a big chunk of your money.
I guess so. Now, from my perspective, like a lot of the clients I work with, that's ridiculously high. I mean,
because we're talking like big clients that sell a lot of their own.
Right. I mean, you're talking larger volume. You know, the 5% becomes a lot. It's great. The convenience is there, and I think the fact that it's inside Facebook, people would feel a bit more secure. And again, you know, Facebook has that branding that PayPal has.
Yeah.
Even though,
so you trust it, you're within Facebook.
Ironically,
you trust.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Well, yeah. Honestly,
we've all got Stockholm syndrome. It's just...
you know, I trust Facebook. You know, putting in my credit card information in Facebook, I actually trust them with doing that as opposed to giving them all my private information where they're just going to use and abuse me and send me negative information for marketing purposes.
I think you might have some issues.
I do.
Do you need a hug?
I do.
There we go. Okay.
I am not an experiment. You did not do psychological experiments on me.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Facebook. I think sales is being very underused at the moment. I think it's like it could be the next big thing. And I kind of wonder why people aren't using it now to set up their own like I would use it to set up a garage sale or a yard sale.
It's great for short, you know, if you need a quick sale. However, you know, there is some advantages to taking people to your website. You take them off of Facebook, they go to your website, and you now have their attention, and you could present the information the way you want to present it.
I can
provide
see that.
any marketing information you want to give them. And
so it's about branding?
Absolutely. So, you know, there are some disadvantages with having them stick within Facebook. You're only allowed an X amount of pixel real estate with Facebook, and you're very limited with functionality that you can do within the Facebook platform. So, you know, as far as communication goes, you might run into some technical issues with your creative ideas.
Ah, that's interesting. So you don't have a lot of control over how it looks and how it feels. So one of the big advantages that I do see with like using something like Sales, you say people are already there, like people are already on Facebook, and it's a great tool for bringing them to your website. But I know, like, I watch a lot of like Gary Vaynerchuk's videos, and he talks a lot about using native marketing. So like if you're in Facebook, you use like Facebook marketing. So you use things like, I don't know, polls or contests or photographs.
Yeah, I guess from an artist perspective, it's you're sticking within the constraints of the medium.
Right.
You know, if you're an oil painter, all your paintings are going to be within oil. You're not going to start experimenting with different other mediums.
It's creative. But that brings me on to something I wanted to talk about, which is like marketing. And I know like a lot of your clients are like big guys who just say, okay, hire me an SEO guy. I want to put this all over Google. And I think maybe the halfway house is, I see a lot of people into Facebook marketing now. And personally, I think Facebook marketing is a big way to go. But I think if you're like on a very low budget or no budget at all, if you are just like, you want to do guerrilla marketing with no budget, I think it's all like about social media. And I wanted to kind of talk to you about the platforms for marketing and
sure
how you would get about getting people to go to your own site, because it's kind of a hard sell.
A low cost thing you can do is simply hit up all the platforms available, and you don't know which ones are going to take off or which ones your audience are going to be on. But there are a lot of platforms out there that people are using that marketers haven't taken advantage of.
Right.
Um,
Do you think that's true? I mean, I see, like, I've used Pinterest for eBay selling, which works really well because
mhm,
I think especially a lot of women use Pinterest,
mhm.
and it works very well for things like fashion, crafting, like scrapbooking,
Yeah, I
design
can see that.
things, furniture and interiors, like that sort of thing. People use Pinterest in a very aspirational sort of way.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Pinterest is really interesting. Like I know the last company I worked with was um, a whole development agency slash online marketing agency.
mhm.
They jumped on Pinterest right away.
Really,
Like
that's
they
interesting.
saw that and they hit it up really quickly. Another platform that I personally think can be more utilized is Tumblr.
You know, that's really interesting. And Tumblr seems to have a very young demographic. Like I
Yes.
feel like the kids are on Tumblr, and I don't see anyone using that for marketing. I wonder if it's. I don't know why. I don't know why
No,
people
but
don't use
you
it.
look at the demographics there. I mean, if you're selling anything that appeals to younger people or the
Right.
video game audience, Tumblr's probably a great platform. You create a Tumblr and you start posting interesting information to get
Right.
people's
And
attention.
I think that's like the key thing with pretty much all social media is it's not about spamming, it's about engaging people and getting people interested in what you're doing. Like I saw one of the most popular like 2014 social media campaigns was just a vote, like which type of queso do you prefer, and it just got like tens of thousands of people voting, and people got like passionate about it. And I think the key is engaging your audience, and I think the other part of it is finding your target audience and finding the people that you think would be interested in your particular product and where they're hanging out, if they're in groups, if they're in forums. Another platform that like, I know our kids are on Instagram
Oh my
like
gosh.
all the time. They
Yes.
love Instagram, and I think what Instagram has going for it is hashtags. And I think there's a lot of mileage in hashtags, but it's kind of
I think
dangerous.
what's fascinating about your kids is the way they use Instagram, which is
Hmm.
very different than the way we use it. Older people started off just taking pictures of their food. Look, I'm about to eat this delicious meal that you have no idea what it tastes like or
Hmm.
smells like, but trust me, it's awesome.
Hmm.
Where your kids are using it,
This sounds good. Where are we going?
absolutely. Your kids are using it for role playing, which is really weird. They're in fan fiction.
Yeah, they're very into like Minecraft and Pokemon and like crazy
And
video game things.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy. You would have never have thought that. And if you're going to market to kids, you can probably use that concept to your
Yeah,
advantage.
and I think again, I think fashion. I see a lot of fashion bloggers on Instagram, and I think hashtagging on Instagram is a and I think Twitter is another place. You've got hashtags. You can look for people by interest. And I mean, this is like another thing I see Gary Vee talking about a lot is using Twitter to find your people. Like, always find your people. If you're going to sell like hip hop bandanas, you need to find your people. You need to go to the right forums, the right groups, and even use like real life places to advertise. Like market on, put your domain on your car or like outside or whatever
Yeah,
you're gonna
we had
do.
this conversation earlier today. We were driving behind a car, and they had their marketing message on their window, and we were talking about how they had the website and a phone number,
Yeah.
and how in this day it almost feels like the website's more valuable
The
than the
website,
phone number.
right? I mean, you're not going to pick up the phone. It was a flower advert, and it said something or other flowerstudio.com, and then it had a phone number. But I wanted to see the flowers. That was my main. Okay, so I was looking at this van, and I'm like, I'm not just going to call these people because they say they'll do my flowers. However, if they had a picture of like a cool flower thing, like, I don't know, an alien made out of flowers, no, I wouldn't be on the phone because I don't do phones. I'm like I'm like this generation that doesn't like phones, but I would be putting that domain name into my phone as quickly as I possibly could. I would be like, I want an alien flower arrangement sent to my house now.
Right.
You want to see it, and I think that's like a really important thing. People are super visual. They like pictures and they like stories. And I mean, I have to say, there's a company that make perfume that I love the owners of this company. They're a family business. They make awesome perfume, and I've followed them for a very long time, and I used to buy a lot of perfume from them. And I think it's because I like their story. I mean, I feel like I know these people. They post a lot of information about themselves, and
So are you concluding that, you know, the lesson to learn here is that if you have a product you want to sell online, stay interesting.
be interesting,
Be
engage
creative.
your audience, and offer something different. And I think be trustworthy as well. I think
Okay.
people want to know like who you are and why they should buy from you, what you're doing. So I mean I would say there's two things. There's two things to marketing: pictures and stories. People want to see cool things, and they want a
Now,
story.
I have a question to ask you.
Mhm.
Do you apply these concepts to your online Amazon store?
That's a really interesting question. See, Amazon's different, and here's one of the failings I would say with Amazon. If you're just selling other people's products, you don't have much control at all. The only thing you have control over is price. And I always teach people about bundles and make your own bundles, because that's where you have creativity. And actually, it's funny. This is something I've been thinking about doing a coffee with Catherine about. Is about creativity. Because I was reading Edward de Bono, and his thing is, if you don't have creativity, you're just, everyone is competing on the same level. Like, everyone is competing on price, they're all doing the same thing. But if you can find a way of being creative,
And I would also like
that
to
lifts
add,
you
like,
up.
Edward de Bono, you know, reading some of his work.
Gosh, look at us. This is what we do. We sit around reading Edward de Bono.
Well, no, he has a good thing about wearing different hats. You know,
I got my
and
polo neck on,
each
and
hat,
the
you know,
hats.
you put yourself in a different mindset. I'm in the money mindset. I'm in the judgmental mindset. I'm in the you know, the creative, happy go feeling mindset. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it, but I do know the big thing I picked up was it lateral thinking?
Yes,
is that the term?
lateral thinking.
And that you know, we have an idea, we stick to that idea, and we try to kind of just build off that idea. Where Edward de
It's
Bono,
linear. We're focused.
just throw away the linear ideas and just think of just very different, as many different ideas as you can come up with. And that's what he means by creativity.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I might as well talk about it now. He has a thing where you pick random words, and you think of the problem you're going to solve, and then you pick like a random word. So I don't know, if you're like, oh, what am I going to sell on Amazon? And it comes up with like monkey. That's your random word, and you have to think about this. And you have to think of all the meanings you can. And it's stupid. I mean, like logical people are like, no, you've got to build, you've got to go forward. But if you're thinking laterally, then you're like, okay, monkey, I want to sell something on Amazon. Okay, monkeying around. I might sell jokes. I might sell, I don't know, like actual monkey outfits. It makes you open up your mind to a lot of things. And I say this a lot when you're starting out selling on Amazon. Sometimes just walk around the aisles of a store and get ideas. Like, don't be too fixated on one thing. Just keep your eyes open and keep your mind open. And sometimes I'll just like walk down a weird aisle in Walmart and try and just get a feel of something different. Because you never know. You've got to keep going.
Yeah, and I think part of creativity, like prior to coming up with creative ideas, is you need to be very observant with the world around you. Be very observant. You know, if you're selling online, you need to be observant with the technologies that are online. Be up to speed. Things are constantly changing. There's new platforms. We were having a discussion this morning. There is a new social app.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this, because this is really cool. I haven't heard anyone talking about this.
So this is it's called Tiny, and it's
spelled weird, isn't it? Is it Tiiny?
I believe so. I've installed it. I just use it.
New.
Yes, you're right. Tiiny.
Tiiny.
And it's basically kind of a variation of Instagram.
Can you show us it
working?
working?
Sure, no problem.
But it's kind of...
It's different.
It's different.
It could possibly take off. So what it is, it's very similar to Instagram. Although the images are smaller and more compressed. They're all laid out in a 3-column grid. And that's basically it. And so it's a quick way to upload images and videos. And the idea is that it's really small, so you don't have to censor yourself. And you don't have to feel, because I feel with Instagram, it turned us all into mini Picasso, mini artists.
Right, and everyone's trying to look good.
We want the perfect shot, and we want to edit it, and oh no, that image just doesn't look good. I can take a better image, so you try again.
I think we're kind of talking about like FaceTime as well.
Yes.
Like, especially if you're trying to market something yourself. I mean, you know how you always have like the mattress king or like the burger giant, or you often get these like people who try and keep putting their face out there because they want FaceTime. And I think something like this is a great way of...
Right. So Tiny, it's a new social media app. Whether it takes off or not, who knows? You know, it's kind of an experiment. But it is something where you can make your presence known on that platform. It's small. People that do check it out, they're curious. And, you know, if you have a message that you want to get known, you're a comedian, you want to, you know, make yourself
or you've got an ebook, you've got a like anything like that, or you want to put out videos, you want to put out your picker videos, or anything you want to do.
It's a platform to get people's attention.
Right.
It's not Instagram. It's not Twitter.
And
it's not Facebook.
You could use it to sell your products.
Yes.
So if I want to do like Catherine's baseball hat shop, I can put pictures of me wearing different hats and be like, hey, check out my cool hat.
Yes. And, you know, one of the things we were talking about, and we had this discussion earlier, was that the nice thing about human nature and social media is that people are nosy and they're very curious.
Well, that's kind of like I was saying, like about like my friends who have the perfume store. I'm kind of like they kind of have used their life and people's interest in their cool life.
Yes, if there's something interesting about you visually, people are going to spy on you as much as they can using these social media tools.
That's why I've got so many Facebook stalkers. it's I don't know.
It's really, I mean, it's human nature. It's basic human nature to spy on things. So, you know, if you do something interesting and you get people's attention, they're going to spy on you. They're going to check out your profile. They're going to see what you're all about. Who is this?
Use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
I think.
You know, send them to your website. Send them to your Facebook.
Yeah.
Your, you know, whatever, you know, online presence you have.
I know, like Jim Cockram's book, he talks a lot about build a mailing list. And a lot of people are like, what? This is so old hat. No one uses mailing lists anymore. But I think he's got a point. Once you've got your mailing list set, you've got a collection of people that have expressed like a very definite interest in you. It's really funny. There's you got two types of marketers. You got the marketers where they feel you need to be super creative and have this awesome visual presence. Then you have the other type that it's just all about content and selling the story. People read. They want to hear stories, and they want to read. And the images get in the way from that because there's no content. Email is a great way to get people to just read. That's interesting. Yeah, I think there's and he actually says that. He says like focus on the text and.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's both. I feel like if you can put out images, you can put out a story, and if you can engage with people and give them something to actually connect to and be interested in, then I think you're rocking marketing. I feel like that's where it's at. And you don't need a big budget for this. You've just got to engage with people.
Now, going back with that, I'd like to, you know, here I can bring in my background into the discussion. With SEO, now the thing about SEO, your search engine optimization, your sites are going to show up on a search engine. People are going to search for a word through Google, and you're going to pop up on the front page. You know, that's gold for a lot of people. Part of the game of that is having content, a lot of content. So the more content you have, and with as many keywords you have, the more likely you're going to pop up. So that's where the advantage of having your own website, your own blog platform, is that you can start building large amounts of content.
That's cool. That makes sense. So then when people Google you, they're going to find your store. So you mentioned Tiny, and you showed Tiny. I think what's interesting about that, Tiny's cool. It looks like a really cool platform. But I think one thing that's really interesting is being like the pioneer of a platform. If you find new platforms, there's a lot of scope there. I remember when like Vine started.
You want to be the hipster
of
platforms, you know. Yeah, I was into it before it was cool.
Well, I think this is like Spreecast. Like, I've kind of stuck with Spreecast because I watch a lot of Chris Green's Spreecasts. And he was all about commit to the platform. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And now he has like, I don't know, 4,000 followers on Spreecast, and he's like the king of Spreecast. It's like those days. What was that app where you used to check in at places and you became like the mayor of that place?
Oh yes.
I forgot what it was called. It was a cool place.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember my name.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
I
and
do.
You used to check in everywhere, and you'd be like, "Yes, I went to Chipotle 700 times. I am the mayor of Chipotle."
Yeah.
Actually, that's a marketing tip right there. You could be the mayor.
People
of
can
Chipotle.
see that. Yeah.
And I think like if you find a new platform, you could. It's the marketers ruin everything. Find a way to boost your profile. It's almost like being a big fish in a little pond. You can be the big fish if you find the right platform that suits you. And you can send all your friends and your followers there. And it grows. It can snowball.
I think the other advantage of choosing a platform, you're gambling time. That's really all you're losing is time.
Right.
And is that when it does pick up steam, your presence is there. And when people look you up, you have this history of content for them to see you. Mm-hmm. Instagram, when you get a new follower from Instagram, great, I get a new follower, someone just signed up. You're like, awesome, someone else I get to spy on. And so you click on their profile, and there's like 3 pictures.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you want to see something.
Right.
You want the content.
Right, so being a pioneer, when people do finally get to the platform, they're going to click on you, and they're just going to see a lot of information that you've been posting.
Okay, so let's sum it all up. So you're probably selling on eBay or you're selling on Amazon, but you have that fear that you've got all your eggs in one basket. And I think we're not talking about like getting off eBay, getting off Amazon, because those are amazing tools in your tool belt. But I think we're talking about diversifying and getting more control and also having a backup plan. So we went over the options for having your own platform, having your own website. So let's like go through those and summarize. So the easiest option
would be probably sales, where you
so
sign
that's
up.
The Facebook option is using Sells, SCLZ.
Yes, and you sell products directly on Facebook. The next option above that would be using a service like Shopify, where it's an all-in-one. They take care of your hosting. They take care of the website platform, and then also payment processing.
But you still have to do a bit of work on that to set that up and to get your products up. And
Yes, they do hold your hand, which is a great service about that. The next step up.
It's always nice to have someone to hold your hand.
Yes. The next service, I guess, above that would be setting up your own WordPress site. Okay. And there you would, have your own hosting. So
the benefits of WordPress, and we talked about this quite a lot with WordPress. So I'm getting that the big benefit of WordPress is that you can really create a professional looking site with your own brand. Like this is what the big guys use, this is what the medium guys are using.
Yes.
To give you a real look and feel and a lot of control.
Yes. Yes, to some degree. It's a bit more complicated from my end. But yes, it's a simple solution for putting up your own website, having your own content, and creating a shop. There is a bit of some work in the beginning where you have to get your own hosting platform, you have to install WordPress, you have to install a theme, and then if you're going to sell directly on your site...
And we talked about Theme Forest.
Yes, Theme Forest to go, and you can look for your own theme. You find one that works for you, install it into your WordPress site, and then you customize that theme to the look and feel of,
So if you have like a sports store, then you can find a really sporty, cool looking website. Or if you have like, I don't know, you're selling disco bracelets, you can have like pink and green neon. Sorry, there's someone on his motorbike over there. He's off. he's getting out of here. The other thing, don't be afraid to outsource. Like if you want, if you're stuck, if you found a sticking point, then get someone in to help you just a little bit, even if it's just paying someone on Fiverr or paying someone on Odesk to make a logo or make an image for you.
Yeah, and that's probably a whole nother discussion, is you can wear, going back to Edward DiBono, a project management hat, because essentially you become the project manager of your site, and you figure out how you're going to build this site, and you hire out specialized work for individuals to put the pieces together. I need a logo, I'll pay someone for a logo. I need to install a WordPress site, I don't want to do it myself, I'll pay someone to do it. And you can do it for pretty affordable.
I thought that guy had gone, honestly.
You can get it.
So outsource. Don't be afraid to outsource and think creatively. There's like a lot of people putting cool animations out on Fiverr. For $5 you can like look at getting like a little Minecraft figure who goes, "Hi, welcome to my site." You can pay some girl in Sweden to go, "Hello, welcome to my site."
Right. So
like,
let's
cool.
Right. So let's go back to putting on our creative.
Didn't you like my Swedish accent?
That was great. Can I hear it again?
No.
Again.
Later.
One more time. So let's put on the creative hat again. You know, you can go on a service like Fiverr, pay someone to have a little Minecraft animation, and then you can put maybe a marketing message on there. Now, I'm gonna disclaimer here. I don't know the intellectual.
You get sued by Minecraft.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's owned by Microsoft now, so they
yeah,
can,
I don't know. But you could do it in the style of Minecraft. You know,
right.
who knows? But anyways, so you have a little animation. You have your marketing message on there. You turn it into a GIF or a video, and then from there you can start putting it on different social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you're going to use.
This kind of goes back to like the flower van. Like it just said, "Buy our flowers." It didn't have a picture. It didn't have anything interesting or creative. They needed that hook. They needed like the picture of the alien flowers, the UFO. I want UFO flowers. I just think someone should do that. Please, can you make a UFO flower company? Because I will be all over that. I would have flowers every day if they were UFO flowers. But have a hook. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a hook. Yeah, get people's attention.
And you can get a hook cheap.
And we found the phone number to be distracting and taking away from the presence of the URL.
You don't need a phone number anymore. You don't need business cards. You don't need a phone number. You just need a cool, I don't know, get people involved. It's all about engaging. It's not about push. It's not about pushing your message. It's about engaging and sharing your message.
You need an online presence.
And have an online presence,
whether it's Facebook, your own website, a Tumblr, Medium. That's a great blogging platform. You know, there's a zillion of them out there.
I think a domain. Do you think having a domain is important? Catherine.com. I scored. I got it. Catherine.com.
I don't know. I mean, you talk to an SEO, a search engine marketing person, they might say a domain name is super important. But to be honest with you, I mean, if people can get to your site, if they're going to click, if they're on Reddit, and you're for whatever reason you have something that pops up on Reddit, they click on that link. They're not going to care about your domain. They're on your site. And
but I can put it on my car. I can put.
Well, there you go. There you go. You can. That's true.
And I can say, hey, check out my store.
That's true. It does look a lot more professional.
I think a domain's good. And domains are cheap. Domains are really cheap. Go to GoDaddy. You can get your domain.
It's $10 a year. If even
right.
That,
So. I think we kind of covered everything. So we talked about websites and we talked about marketing, and I think we put a lot out there.
Being hipsters.
Yeah, you're not a hipster.
No.
This doesn't work. We're
too old.
We're too old to be hipsters. So, all right. Well, it's not that scary. If you want to set up a website, there's a lot of options. You can hire someone to do it. Someone like him. You can hire. I mean, if you've got the budget, hire a big agency. If you don't have a budget, don't worry. You can go with Facebook. You can SELZ. That's how it SELZ sells.
Yes.
That's where it's at. You can go with WordPress. It's for cheap. Don't spend too much time. Don't spend too much like stressing over little things. Outsource things. If you've got a sticking point, outsource the little things. But you can do this. And also think creatively. Everything pretty much is about how you can be creative. Engage with your customers. Think pictures, think visuals, think stories, and think engaging. Go and find your customers, bring them to you, and share with people. I think that's pretty much like where it's at for marketing. Okay, hopefully
back to the monkey cage for me.
Back to the monkey cage with Isaac.
Got some coding stuff to do.
He's got some coding and techie things to do. I gotta go and make another cup of coffee. Have a really good week, everyone. Thank you for watching the show. I hope you got something good out of it. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned some stuff. I really want to get a web store going. And have a great week. Bye.